Hello, Keeners. My name is Lindsay Sayers, and today, September 24th, I will be presenting this Nursing 891 student podcast in relation to Module 4, Epistemology, Nursing Science, and Ways of Knowing in Nursing. Whether this is good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, I hope this podcast finds you well. My podcast will serve as an overview of some of the content of Module 4 and will hopefully help give us Keeners a strong foundation regarding these topics at hand. Without further hesitation, I present to you the outline of today's podcast. I will begin with posing two critical reflection questions. Please keep these questions in mind when listening to the podcast. Next, we will see how nursing meta-paradigm and nursing science are defined. We will quickly review what is epistemology. We will talk about Carper's ways of knowing in nursing. We will discuss what makes nursing an academic discipline and the unifying focus of the discipline of nursing. And we will describe the use of nursing theory and how it guides practice, education, administration, and research. We will finish off with a quick summary of what we've learned, and hopefully by the end you will feel refreshed and motivated, and you're going to want to jump into an insightful and engaging discussion in regards to the content found in Module 4. So let us get started. First, let's have a quick look at what the critical reflection questions will be for this week. Question 1, are Carper's fundamental patterns of knowing in nursing applicable to nursing today? And if so, how do you incorporate these patterns of knowing into your practice? Question 2, what influence does the nursing meta-paradigm have on theory development in nursing? Again, please keep these in mind when listening to the podcast. If you take a look at McEwen and Will's 2011 textbook, on page 39 you will find a box labeled Requirements for a Meta-Paradigm. In this box, it states that meta-paradigms must identify a domain that is distinctive from the domain of other disciplines, encompass all phenomena in interest to the discipline, must be perspective neutral, and international in scope and substance. So meta-paradigms are no small feat to develop. Fawcett first wrote on central concepts of nursing in 1978 and formalized them as the meta-paradigm of nursing in 1984. These concepts include man or person, health, environment, and nursing. When posed the question, what is nursing science, the answers are not so straightforward. Barrett compared capturing its definition to trying to define love. Because nursing science is interpreted in many ways, it's difficult to find one true meaning that speaks to everyone. This seemed to be a common theme from the readings in regards to the definition of nursing science. According to Reed and Crawford Shearer, the term of nursing science is used liberally throughout the literature, but there are few concrete definitions to pull from. After visiting several schools of thought, they find that the definition of nursing science must encompass all disciplinary knowledge and cannot solely focus on one paradigm. McEwen and Wills state that the definition is as follows. Nursing science relates to the system of relationships of nursing response in health and illness, addressing the biologic, behavioral, social, and cultural domains. The goal of nursing science is to represent the nature of nursing. So essentially we want to understand and to explain what nursing is and how we can use nursing to benefit mankind. It is through the study of nursing that we are able to find the meaning of what nursing is as a profession and to help guide our future generations towards building on our existing knowledge base. So now that that's clarified, a quick review of what is epistemology. So as we know, it's the study of knowledge. So nursing epistemology is the study of how nurses come to know what they think they know, what exactly nurses do know, how nursing knowledge is structured, and on what basis knowledge claims are made. Like most disciplines, nursing has both scientific knowledge and knowledge that can be termed conventional wisdom. So, how do we know what we know, and when will we know when we know it? Here I pose our first critical reflection question. Please pay special attention to the next few slides. Our first question is this. Are Carper's fundamental patterns of knowing in nursing applicable to nursing today? If so, how do you incorporate the patterns of knowing into your practice? Back in 1978, Carper identified 4 fundamental patterns of knowing in nursing. These include empirics, or empirical knowledge, the science of nursing. This is focused on knowledge that can be verified through observation and proved through repeated testing over time. This is the most emphasized way of knowing. Aesthetic knowledge is known as the art of nursing. This incorporates empathy and understanding. This includes being aware of the importance of moments. As nurses, we encounter several of these moments throughout our career, whether it's a shoulder to cry on for family members who have just lost a loved one, or being with your patient when they receive either good or bad news. This knowledge cannot be studied, but the more skilled the nurse becomes in emphasizing with the lives of others, the more understanding they will gain. Personal knowledge is the therapeutic use of self in nursing. This is very subjective and therefore strongly expressed by personality. This includes individuals' maturity, experience, freedom, spiritual belief, etc. This knowledge is demonstrated by how the nurses view themselves and their clients. This is the most problematic, most difficult to master and to teach, but at the same time, it is perhaps the most essential to understanding the meaning of health in terms of the individual well-being. Ethical knowledge refers to the moral code within nursing and is based on the obligation to serve and the respect for human life. This knowledge is tested when we are faced with a moral dilemma in the workplace. Moral dilemmas arise in situations of ambiguity and uncertainty, and generally the consequences of one's actions are difficult to predict. This pattern of knowing includes the judgment of moral value in relation to motives, intentions, and traits of character. So now that we know the patterns of knowing, how do we use them in our practice? In Reed and Crawford Shearer, it says that nursing as a whole depends on the knowledge of human behavior in health and illness, the aesthetic perception of significant human experience, a personal understanding of the unique individuality of the self, and the capacity to make choices within concrete situations involving particular moral judgments. So now that we know how do we know what we know, and we know how to use what we know when we know it, let's move on. All right, on a more serious note, now that we understand the patterns of knowing in nursing, why study it? What makes nursing an academic discipline? So initially, nursing was submersed under the umbrella of medicine and had not distinguished itself as a separate discipline. Nursing was viewed, as we have already discussed, as a task-based profession that had little to no regard to rationale. The following will be an overview from the Newman, Syme, and Cochrane-Perry's chapter titled Focus of the Discipline of Nursing in the Reed and Crawford Shearer textbook. In order for us to question what makes nursing an academic discipline, we must first know what it means to be an academic discipline. McEwen and Wills write that most scholars agree that it is unique theories and perspectives studied by a discipline that distinguish it from other disciplines. These theories are used by members of a profession to clarify the basic assumptions and values that are shared by its members and define the nature, outcome, and purpose of the practice. A professional discipline, therefore, is defined by social relevance and value orientation. The focus of a professional discipline is derived from a belief and value system about the profession's social commitment, nature of its service, and area of responsibility for knowledge development. These need to be expressed in a focus statement. It has been prominently over the past decade that nursing as a professional discipline has emerged. Although a number of concepts have been associated with nursing, the common four concepts have been identified as central to the study of nursing, and those are person, environment, nursing, and health. Although identifying these concepts will start to narrow the focus of nursing, there still remains a need for explicit connectedness and social relevance to describe the field of study that constitutes nursing. So, what is the focus of nursing? Newman, Syme, and Cochrane-Perry submit the focus statement of nursing as being the following. Nursing is the study of caring and the human health experience. This focus implies a social mandate and service identity and specifies a domain for knowledge development. This focus also brings together components of the statement concepts that are identified with nursing's meta-paradigm. It is through this focus that nursing is able to define itself. Based on this focus, the interpretation of nursing knowledge is able to take different forms depending on the perspective of the researcher, and therefore is a unified focus. It's able to be shared within nursing. So how does nursing theory develop within this discipline, guide nursing practice, education, administration, and research? So as we come into this topic, please start to think about our second critical reflection question. What influence does the nursing meta-paradigm have on theory development in nursing? Through the readings of McEwen and Wills, Omri, Casper, and Page write that the initial work of theorists was aimed at clarifying the complex intellectual and interactional domains that distinguished expert nursing from the mere doing of tasks. It was thought that through these conceptual models and theories that we would be able to create mechanisms by which nursing would communicate their professional convictions, provide moral and ethical structure to guide their actions, and foster a meaning of systemic thinking about the discipline of nursing as a practice. So, how have these theories and models influenced nursing practice? If you look at the McEwen and Wills 2011 textbook on page 23, you can find the theories and conceptual models developed by nurses, and you're able to see in what ways they have influenced the nursing practice. If you haven't opened your book, no worries, I have them listed for you on this slide. As a bedside nurse, this helps tie the importance of theory within my own practice. As all nurses, no matter what our role is, this helps us understand how the initial work of early theorists have shaped nursing as a discipline and allowed us to have so many differing roles within healthcare. Im and Chang in 2012 found that with advances in nursing research methodology and technologies, we have seen an increasing number of nursing research studies funded by federal, non-federal, public and private institutions, agencies, or foundations. With this change and also with advances in medical technologies, we have witnessed tremendous changes in nursing practice with diversified roles, specialties, and staffing. This essentially shows that putting more emphasis into our research about nursing theory has then broadened the scope for nurses worldwide, and we now have shown that the nursing discipline is relevant in numerous healthcare areas. If Florence Nightingale could only see how far we've come. So we've gone over a lot of information, but I hope my topic summary was insightful and clear. To quickly recap, we've discussed nursing science, keeping in mind that nursing science relates to the system of relationships of human responses in health and illness, addressing biologic, behavioral, social, and cultural domains. We know that epistemology is the study of knowledge in relation to nursing, the study of how nurses come to know what they think they know, what exactly nurses do know, how nursing knowledge is structured, and on what basis knowledge claims are made. We have discussed the academic discipline of nursing and know that the focus statement of nursing is that nursing is the study of caring in the human health experience. And finally, we have started the discussion in regards to our critical reflection questions, the first being whether Carper's fundamental patterns of knowing in nursing are applicable to nursing today, and if so, how do we incorporate these patterns of knowing into your own practice? Again, the 4 patterns of knowing are empirical knowledge, aesthetic knowledge, personal knowledge, and ethical knowledge. And our second critical thinking question, what influence does the nursing meta-paradigm have on theory development in nursing? And again, a reminder that the nursing meta-paradigm concepts include man or person, health, environment, and nursing. Nursing theory has influenced nursing practice in numerous ways, which are listed in this slide. It's important to note how far nursing practice has come from the initial work of theorists, trying to distinguish expert nursing from the mere doing of tasks, to today's nursing profession where nursing encompasses numerous areas within the healthcare field. At this point, I want to say thank you for your time. I hope you found this podcast useful, and I hope that you're now able to use this material in the presentation to help facilitate your discussion on the group page. Have a good week.